Happy New Year everyone, I'm Hannah, I'm a Feldenkrais teacher and I'd like to show you some movements from this method that can help you to tune into your body, reconnect with it, to work with it from the inside out. And in this lesson specifically we're going to be looking at how we can improve our balance and our sense of being grounded and stable by improving how our ankles and our hip joints move. So please come have a lie on your back. Find a nice place where you can lie down comfortably and be warm for a few moments. You can have a small folded towel behind your head if you need something to stop your head from hanging back if you begin there. And just give your body a moment just to settle onto the floor. Notice, how is that contact of your back with the ground today? Do you have a large space underneath your lower back or a small one? And then please bend your knees, have your feet standing, and just take a moment to feel the way that each foot stands on the ground. So notice, where is the weight on the sole of each of your feet? Maybe you notice one foot, you might have the weight a little bit more rolled towards the outer edge or the inner edge. And just feel if the 2 feet, are they the same as each other, or do you have differences in the way that your 2 feet are standing on the floor right now? And then when you've got a sense of that, please bend up your right knee so you can interlace your fingers just underneath your kneecap. And just go ahead and begin to make some very small circles with your knee. Kind of like the size if you were going around a jam jar lid rather than a dinner plate. And just see, can you tune into the sensation of how that feels in your hip joint? Notice, is your pelvis moving as well, or do you keep your pelvis still and just move your leg? And can you sense which parts of the circle are very smooth and easy? Are there other parts that are a little bit less clear, or where the movement gets a little bit juddery? And then please reverse the circle, see how does it feel for you to go the other way. And sensing as you do that, what's happening around your hip joint and the muscles there. So can you notice, are any muscles working harder than they need to? Is there anywhere that you could invite to let go a little bit as you do that? And when you've played with that a little bit, please let your right foot find the floor again. And take a hold of your left knee this time. And just have a play with the same thing on this side. And just give yourself a moment to notice, does it feel different with your left hip than it did with your right one? And can you move in such a way that you go gently and slowly enough to really feel what's happening as you go around the circle? So notice, are there any moments where the muscles kick in and they tighten up or brace? Are there parts of the circle where the movement feels less round or where it gets more bumpy? And you want to slowly just see if you can smooth over those bumpy places. Feel if you can invite any excess work, whether it's in your buttocks or your lower belly or pelvic floor, wherever it is for you. Just see if you can notice what's happening there and do less. And then please stop, take a rest, let your leg come down. And then when you're ready, please come back to taking hold of your right leg, interlace your hands around your knee. And could you begin to make some circles of your foot now? As though you were drawing a circle with your big toe in space. And just notice, how does that feel in your ankle? It doesn't need to be a large circle. Maybe make it like you're going around, again, like a jam jar lid or something even smaller, a watch face even. And see, can you make it smoother? Can you find the minimum amount of muscular effort possible in order to still have that movement happening? And then please circle in the other direction. And could you shift your attention to the circle that your little toe is making in space? And just notice that even though it's the same movement, does it feel a little bit different when you take your attention to a different part of your foot? And then can you switch direction again, but have your attention on the circle that your heel is making in space. And all the time you're just giving yourself time to build an awareness of how do you do it? What do you sense in your lower leg? Do you feel any movement in your calf? Do you feel any movement in your hip joint as you circle your heel? And then please bring your foot down for a moment. And you can lengthen your legs if you'd like to. Just give yourself a moment to just really take a rest. So in most movement methods out there, the focus is on building strength or flexibility. And in Feldenkrais, it's more about getting out of your own way, about noticing patterns of muscular holding and tension that are interfering with how we want to move. It's like the other half of the coin. So when you're ready, please bend your knees again. Take a hold of that right leg, interlacing your hands around your knee. And please come back to circling your foot. Again, just see, can you make it really smooth? And as you do it, could you notice as you circle around, are you doing it so that your toes and your heel are both going to the outside together and down and to the inside of the circle and up? Or there's another way, you might be doing it so that as your toes are going to the right, your heel's going to the left, and then vice versa. And the two feel different. So let me just do a little visual for if that will help you to understand that a little better. So if you are holding a spoon here, say this is your heel, this is your toes. You could circle so both are going up, both are going to the side. But it's also possible to do it more like this. So one is going to the inner edge as one goes to the outer edge. And when you start to move in this way, where the two go in different directions, you start to invite more movement in between these two bones in your lower leg that can rotate around each other. And that's a crucial one for balance, for the health of the knee. It's something a lot of people lose because we walk on very even surfaces, on paved pavements all the time. So give yourself a moment just to see if you can find this movement of the foot with the heel and the toe moving in opposition to each other. And of course you can reverse it, try the other direction whenever you're ready. And just see, can you do that without tensing, without making it harder work. If it's something you've never done before, it can take time to send the brain signals down to create that new way of moving. So please be really patient, really gentle with yourself. And then please rest, let that right foot come down again. And then when you're ready, take a hold of that knee again and just come back to circling your knee in space. And notice, has it gotten a bit smoother and easier in your hip after what you did with your ankle? And then could you begin to circle your foot at the same time as you keep the circles going with your knee, so both are circling together. And again, it's more of an ask on your coordination, so just be really gentle with yourself. You can make the circle very slow, very small. The only rule is that you don't hurt yourself, that you keep it very easy. And then just to step up the coordination challenge once again, could you circle your knee in one direction and your foot in the other direction? So this might well take a minute to find for lots of people if you've never done it before. I've had people who tell me they don't believe it's possible. I promise it is. And you have to make so many tiny little adjustments. Can you have that happen without tensing up and holding your breath? And be really, really patient with yourself. It can take a little while to find how to do this. Okay. Take a rest for your brain. Let your foot come back down. And just notice after doing more on the right side there, notice if your right foot feels different in how it meets the ground compared to your left. If one foot feels more firmly and solidly in contact with the ground. If someone was going to come and do a handstand on one of your knees right now, which knee would you pick? Which leg feels like it's better able to support some weight? Okay. And then in your own time, can you follow those steps on the other side? So you'll start by circling your left hip. And then you'll find the circles with your left foot, searching for this feeling of leading with the toe or the little toe, the heel sometimes, playing with both directions. Having a play with this idea of circling your heel and your foot in opposite directions rather than in the same direction. And then come back to feeling how it is with your knee. And how is it to circle your foot and your knee together in the same direction and then in opposite directions, and then see how that feels afterwards. And let me know how you get on with this in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.